Thanks, Mike. One of the great settings in college football. It's Husky Stadium on the banks of Lake Washington in Seattle. And the Huskies looking to continue their home dominance, playing host to Purdue in the first Big Ten meeting between these two proud programs. Welcome inside the broadcast booth at Husky Stadium alongside Spencer Tillman. I'm Dan Hellion for Purdue. They've been close a couple of times this year, but still looking for their first Big Ten win under new head coach Barry Odom. Washington back in the top 25 for the first time in 2 years under Jedd Fisch. Then they go to Wisconsin and they lose. So both teams trying to get back on track.
I think you can say they are a little bit sleepless here in Seattle. Now, I'll tell you, they know it's not just Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. These fans know what it's like to be in an uncomfortable position, controlling their destiny less than a little week ago. So things have changed quickly, but I think both these teams, like the movie, got to establish a connection in the run game. Dan, if they do that, I think they'll be in a good situation to rally.
Well, the quarterback for Washington, Demont Williams, can certainly run and he can throw. One of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the country, but he's going to be without his leading receiver and his #1 running back. Could be limited. Jonah Coleman going to play a little bit, maybe, but Denzel Boston, one of the better receivers in the country, is out. So they're going to be leaning on a running back by committee. Adam Muhammad going to be leading.
And then Adam Muhammad, let me tell you guys, he is cut up like coleslaw, Dan. This guy looks the part. He sets up. He's got burst. 4.5 yards he averaged against Wisconsin in a losing effort. But one of the things that jumped out at me, he made 9 guys miss. So the guy's got a little swerve in his hips as well. Jordan Washington will back him up. Those tandems, as you pointed out just a moment ago, partner, will be the guys that will set them up. Now, across the way, Purdue is going to respond without Devin McAfee. He's out for the year. And so in comes Antonio Harris and Malachi Thomas. They're similar in terms of their frame, both about 6 foot, 210, 215. I personally think Malachi Thomas has a little bit more explosiveness to him. Both of them are looking to get these teams on track.
And both teams trying to establish the run here at Husky Stadium. It was sprinkling earlier, but beautiful right now. One of the best settings to play college football in the country. Purdue coming a long way, and they don't want to leave without a win. Kickoff coming up. Welcome back to Husky Stadium. It is Purdue and Washington. Purdue looking to get their first Big Ten win in a long time. They've lost 16 straight, but man, they've been close a couple of times this year. Jedd Fisch in his second year as the head coach here at Washington. They were off to a fantastic start this year, coming in after that loss to Wisconsin. Still, they have the opportunity to get to 10 wins this year.
Well, Jedd's got that Jersey swag to him, right? And his counterpart, Barry Odom, on the other side from Southwest Oklahoma, Lawton, Oklahoma, military town. He's got a little edge to him right now. Both of these guys understand their respective assignments. Listen, partner, I'm on tiptoes of anticipation, waiting to see how this one plays out, because both of them have got a little bit of a spur in the saddle right about now.
You are so right about that. Barry Odom, of course, turned around UNLV, was at Missouri for 4 years. Now he's hoping to resurrect the program at Purdue. It has been an uphill climb for him. His first team meeting, just 30 players in there, so he brought in a whole slew of new faces. It's Adam Muhammad and Desmond Roebuck back deep to receive the kickoff from Jack McAllister as we are officially underway in Seattle.
Look, communication.
Indeed, picked up at the 5-yard line. It's Muhammad trying to find some room on the outside, puts his head down, gets to the 25-yard line, so they avert disaster on the opening kickoff of the game. Taj Rael on the tackle. And here is our first look at the sophomore from Chandler, Arizona, Demont Williams, one of the better passers in the country, still just 19 years old in his first full season. As we mentioned in the open, he is playing without 2 of his main weapons. Denzel Boston, his leading receiver, is out. Jonah Coleman, the starting running back, will play in an emergency situation. So it is Adam Muhammad getting the start at tailback for the Huskies. And that's who Williams was looking for on the first play of the game, a bit off the mark. Let's take a look at the offensive lineup for the Huskies. Keep your eye on John Mills, the true freshman from St. Ignatius High School in San Francisco. Normally plays guard. They moved him out to right tackle after Drew Azzopardi is down for this one. A very talented young player, and Muhammad getting the start in the backfield, and a couple of freshman wide receivers expected to make some noise as well. 2nd and 10 here. Going to keep it on the ground to Muhammad, who has some room. And a 5, maybe 6-yard gain before he's taken down by Taj Rael. Look at this Purdue defense. C.J. Nunnally is the straw that stirs the drink up front. The best player on the defensive line, Manny Powell, the leading tackler. He has followed Barry Odom from Arkansas to UNLV and now Purdue. And in the back end, it's Taj Rael. We've already heard his name a couple of times. We saw Charles Correa, the second leading tackler on the team. They got a lot of guys making a lot of tackles on this defense. 3rd and 5, big play early for Washington. Williams going to the air, pressure coming, flushed out of the pocket to his left. Thought about cutting it upfield, using the legs here, picking up the first down is Damon Williams. That's what makes him so dangerous.
We just saw a great example of Muhammad, what he does when the ball is not in his hands, Dan. Watch him pick up this blitzer coming in from strong. You can see him here. Number 24 sees eyes, scans it like a Cylon warrior, man. He sees the front, and he goes over and picks him up. Quarterback doesn't even survive that if the back doesn't get him. So that's what you're looking for. And that big physicalness that I saw on the sidelines and throughout the course of his career, that's what that makes him special right there, besides being able to make guys miss.
Maybe one of the hardest things for young running backs is pass protection, right? A lot of guys don't play even though they can run the ball because they can't pick up those blitzers.
Absolutely. Offensive line will struggle with holding and things of that nature, whichever side is on. But you're right about the backs. They are the ones that have to be smart enough to understand who they've got to pick up, particularly in the solo formations where it's not a 2-back scenario.
So a holding call on Purdue, defensive holding, tax on 10 yards.
Set the game clock to 14 minutes.
And they're going to
0-0.
reset the game clock at 14 minutes. And so Washington nearly at midfield after the penalty. Williams, quick pass to the outside. Raiden finds Bright. Breaks a tackle. Very close to picking up another first down. He's wrapped up by Rael, who has been a very busy man so far for this Purdue defense.
Love Jimmy Daugherty's play selection into the boundary, short side of the field. Again, he's running away from the numbers, right? You get guys on an island out there, and big guys are able to move. That's Carver Willis, the left tackle, who's working on an island out there, Dan. Does a brilliant job of working on those smaller pencil neck size guys that are defending. He mushes them out of the way.
Oh, bad snap over the head of Williams. And Purdue jumps on it. It's Breon Ishmael. What a massive turnover by Washington.
And that's the great equalizer. That's what crushed them against Wisconsin, the turnovers. One came via the air. You can see this one sails up high. We talked about the rejiggered offensive line and how they've got guys made in position. This is the first week when they've ever had some semblance of a consistency there, and this is what happens. Unbelievable.
Zachary Henning is the center. He's starting in place of Landon Hatchett, who played last week with a cast on his hand. Then they took him out of the game. It was a tough situation for Henning last week, but the snap just a bit high, and Damon Williams not able to hold on to it. So fantastic field position for Purdue.
Yeah, and they're having to trust a redshirt sophomore for that position. And again, you usually want a more mature guy in that spot, Dan.
Here's Ryan Brown trying to capitalize on this massive turnover here early in the first.
Come pressure.
Keeping it on the ground. Not a whole lot of room to work with for Antonio Harris. And we mentioned Ryan Brown, 14 total touchdowns. Interceptions have been an issue. 9 touchdown passes, 8 interceptions for Brown this year. A lot of talent, obviously, transferred to North Carolina for about 3 months and ended up coming back to play for Barry Odom at Purdue. He told him the door was always open, and he got his quarterback back. Keeping it on the ground again. This is Harris, head down before he is taken down by Rashawn Clark.
Yeah, a nice job of seeing that and bouncing it to the outside for extra yards.
All right, here's a look at the offensive lineup. At left guard, Jalen St. John is leading the way up front for the Boilermakers. In terms of playmakers, it is Antonio Harris and the backup running back Malachi Thomas are going to have to make some noise. Michael Jackson III is their leading receiver.
Got a trips formation. They're going to empty this thing 5 verticals here. They're going to go to the pass here. Leccepio got a motion on the right side, busted the opportunity.
Flags flying from everywhere on 3rd down.
And they've got a Hank Purvis over there.
False start. Offense number 58. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Yeah, you called that one, partner, Hank Purvis.
Well, and here's the thing about it. Hank, number 58, is sitting there. He's turning around, not quite sure. At least he's engaging, right, trying to figure it out. And then the ball is snapped. The quarterback snaps his hand. That is lack of communication. That's going to happen when you don't have it. You're coming off a 1-11 season trying to turn things around. Communication key.
Third and 11. Gets it off. The receiver slips. That was Nitro Tuggle. As I said, it was raining earlier, a slippery turf, and he slipped as the ball was delivered.
Well, Tuggle's got to be careful. He actually had to turn in against off coverage here into a defender. Watch how he converts from now a receiver, slips, falls, gets a hand on it. He now becomes a defender. That ball could have easily been intercepted. And now this is the extracurricular stuff he's got to be mindful of. If the official would have been able to declare that Tuggle was the one who initiated that, he would have been in trouble.
McAllister's punt fielded at the 10-yard line. And Desmond Roback calls for the fair catch. More pushing and shoving going on. It's going to be a frisky game here at Husky Stadium. We're back after this. Time for today's Game Flow, sponsored by Progressive at Husky Stadium. The fans out in full force. What a place to watch a football game here. Purdue coming out here for the first time as Big Ten foes of the Huskies. And there's a look at the two centers. You see Landon Hatchett, 66, and Zachary Henning, who is starting in his place. Hatchett has a broken hand and is in a cast. And Henning was off the mark on that snap. And here's not a lot of running room for Adam Muhammad.
I'll tell you what, Mike Shear's got this Purdue Boilermaker defense running and coming after you, man. This is a couple of times now they've come to the line of scrimmage and shut guys down and make them have to work for those yards.
Saw Mike Shear before the game and said, man, I really hope the rain holds off. He said, what are you talking about? I hope it pours.
Well, the elements have not been kind to Washington, that's for sure. Last week, recently in the rearview mirror.
Muhammad still in it, running back on 2nd and 10.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a run. They're going with two tights.
And there it is, a little end around, trying to look for some room. Out to the 15-yard line is Jordan Washington, the redshirt freshman from Long Beach, California.
And partner, I love the strategy. You bring those tight ends down and then bring the splits down so that you can try to outflank people. It's not quite a speed motion, but what you're trying to do is get to the boundary in the perimeter so that you can outrun guys. And that's one strategy they've got. They've got to find a way to produce ground yardage in order to be successful.
Muhammad alongside Williams here on 3rd and 5. Williams looking to throw, clean pocket, pass complete, but what a tackle made at the 15-yard line. Decker to Graff, wrapped up by Smiley Bradford. He was all over that one.
Watch number 1, Squat Dog Reed, we call this one, Dan, on this particular play. Does a wonderful job of just sitting there and waiting on his guy to come to him. He understands his eyes are away from him. Great leverage position to make a solid tackle. That's quality football right there.
Luke Dunn, the Oregon transfer, on to punt inside his own 10-yard line. And this one a little bit wobbly as it lands at the 45, gets a positive bounce inside the 40, and then it is down by the Huskies. Going to get another look at this Purdue offense coming up. Ryan Brown and company looking to get some points on the board. Good field position once again after the 45-yard punt. Welcome back to College Football on FS1, sponsored by Graduate by Hilton. Spirited stays in your favorite college towns. Well, the new defensive coordinator at Washington used to call West Lafayette his old college hometown. 2 seasons as the Purdue head coach before coming to Washington as a defensive coordinator, and he has done a fantastic job this year. Top 25 against the run, 26 in total defense, and there is no doubt that this is one he has had circled on his calendar for quite some time, facing his former team.
And he's been producing those great defenses for a long time, man.
Purdue keeping it on the ground on first down, and that goes for 3 yards. Devin Bryant on the stop of Malachi Thomas.
Just to put a bow on that Ryan Walters comment again, I'm going back to the Illinois time he was there, and he had an unbelievable defensive line, 1 and 2 in the country in most of the significant categories that matter. The guy's sullen sometimes, he can even be misread. Doesn't say a whole lot, but let me tell you, he knows how to scheme up a defense, to be sure.
Brown, quick pass to the outside. It's Jackson. Ooh. Jackson ducks the head, gets 1, maybe 2. This is a very physical game already. It was Alex McLaughlin on the stop.
Well, we talked about these backs being heavy, man. They run, and they're really tough. They get the leverage. Low man is supposed to win that. It's all about physics, right? And the backs, the receivers, all of those guys play at a high level. Very physical team Coach Odom has.
Malachi Thomas is checked in at running back on 3rd and 5. Brown gonna run it himself and picking up the first down right up the middle and then some.
You don't want to see those design calls all the time, but watch him here. The direct snap. He's got 5 guys to block, 4 in the middle, and a free center open on a linebacker. That's about a 40-pound differential that he takes advantage of.
It's actually Malachi Singleton who has checked in at quarterback and then completes the pass to the 40-yard line. Singleton has packages where he comes in and he has the ability to run the ball. Actually threw for the only touchdown in the game last week for Purdue as they were taking on Ohio State.
Yeah, you know, Ryan Brown is the team's 2nd leading rusher. I mean, but the bottom line, you don't want him being your leading rusher. So if you're going to run it, bring in Malachi.
2nd and 2. Here's Singleton again. Nice. Looking to throw. Oh, it's dropped by Nitro Tuggle. Had it in his hands.
Leroy Bryant was out there, the nickel guy, and I'm telling you, man, that wasn't the thing that caused him. He just floated it up in the air over the coverage. He should have caught this ball right in his hands where it needs to be. Malachi Singleton just touches this ball right where it needs to be. You got to catch that play. Got to make it, man.
Couldn't tell if Tacario Davis got a hand on it or not from that angle, but that looked like a nice pass from Singleton. And now Singleton out wide.
They've got to get their right personnel, and they're going to be a switch, and they've got to hold them up and wait until they get the right personnel. We're going to call a timeout.
A little wildcat formation with Antonio Harris looking to take the snap, and Malachi Singleton.
First team charge timeout, Purdue.
Going out wide, 3rd and 2 when we come back. Purdue looking for a little momentum here in the first quarter. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but his are the only ones that matter. Colin Cowherd is the most interesting man in sports. Don't miss the Herd weekdays at noon Eastern only on FS1. I know Colin's enjoying his new city there in Chicago. Left us in Los Angeles. Still no score here at Husky Stadium. Purdue once again in Husky territory. They've had great field position on these first 2 drives. 3rd and 2 here. And it does not look like Singleton gets there.
Tell you what, if you're trying to run on a Ryan Walters front, man, it's really tough to get yards inside that interior front 4 of his. They are so stout at the point of attack. Again, as you just mentioned, partner, this will be the 7th play in Washington territory so far for Purdue. And what that means, the net is they're stealing possessions away from this high-octane Washington offense, and that plays in Purdue's favor.
Going forward on 4th and 1, it's Antonio Harris and the Wildcat.
Wow, I don't know if he got it, man.
Man, that's going to be close.
Yep. Wow. And if they don't get it, what an opportunity lost, and you got to give props where they're due, partner. Ryan Walters, that front of his is something else, man.
That's Adrius Rainey Saleh, the freshman linebacker, local kid from here in Washington State, who really filled that hole with a quickness. He is an absolute stallion.
Yeah, I saw 87. Christian Earls, the tight end, coming over trying to get a hand and a body on a guy on the edge, but I don't think they got any forward momentum or push whatsoever from that exterior position. I think this ball may go over. Gonna be close, man. Yep.
Oh, going to be about a foot short.
That's a stop for a big time.
So Ryan Walters and his freshman Adrius Rainey Saleh hold them on 4th down and just not able to take advantage of great field position. Their first
game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 6:52.
Started on the Washington 42, this last one on their own 39.
And there's the architect right there. I mean, if you close your eyes, for you old hands out there that followed his track from Illinois during that time, you can hear the Jazon Newton and the Keith Randolphs and the Calvin Avery, those guys that formed that defensive front that ranked 1 and 2 in all the critical categories that matter. They showed up big time in the personification of this new group. I'm telling you, that was special.
Both of these teams emphasized how important it was to get off to a fast start. Washington
Purdue was challenging the ruling that the runner was short of a line to gain.
All right, so we have a challenge.
Wow.
That wasn't an inch or two. That was a solid
That was
foot.
a significant foot. But if Coach Odom sees something that looks that pronounced, then I'm not quite sure what the impetus of that was. But as you said, Dan, that was almost a foot.
Let's take another look. The direct snap to Harris.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that he turns sideways and inside doesn't help his argument. And he's, of course, already down before he extends the ball out. Yeah, that's a tough call. And these games like this, these timeouts are going to come at a premium, man.
Our referee, Gregory Blum, on the horn communicating as they're all taking a look at this in real time, just as we are once again.
And I think if Christian Ailes, number 87, could have got that edge man hooked, he could have continued on and maybe beat him to the outside.
After review, the ruling that the runner was short of the line to gain is upheld. It's first down for Washington. Purdue is charged a second team timeout of the half, and it loses its challenge for the remainder of the game.
Wow. Well, you got to roll the dice sometimes when you haven't won a Big Ten football game in 16 tries, and that's exactly what Barry Odom did there. But it was snake eyes, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was. And I think the thing is the context oftentimes determines your strategy. He knows his team needs a win, right? Coming in off a 1-11 season, trying to get them victories. It's really been tough for him to find that carrot that they need to incentivize them. So he's looking for anything to keep the momentum going.
Williams looking to throw. Gonna let it rip off the left sideline. Wow! That was incredible. Omari Evans somehow, some way hung on. Tony Grimes was all over him. Evans making his first start of the season.
Isn't that amazing? He's always typically going to be in the slot. Now they've got him on the outside and the edge. He's about 6 foot, 195 pounds. The senior transfer from Shoemaker makes that ball downfield. He kept his eyes on it the entire time.
Here's Muhammad. Purdue defensively did a nice job of stringing that one out. Picks up a couple. That catch was one-handed, falling to the ground.
And he's
awesome.
He's got a defender in his face too, and he manages to keep enough control of his body to use that left hand to gather that ball in and have the presence of mind to haul it in and keep it with control.
They told us he was a big play waiting to happen. Transferred from Penn State, averaged about 20 yards per catch. He had 5 touchdowns on 21 catches last year for a great Penn State team. He's been battling some injuries, but he is paying dividends, filling in for Denzel Boston. Looking to the end zone. Pressure coming. Nice job just getting back inside the 10-yard line and very close to the first down before Williams is wrapped up by Charles Correa.
That's a nice piece of running right there. I mean, the ability to make guys miss in space is something that's absolutely coveted down here. And when you start getting close to that red zone area inside the 20-yard line, everything gets compressed. And so if you're able to make guys miss in that constricted space, that's a tremendous gift.
You can see the wiggle that Williams has. Manny Powell, the best tackler for Purdue, he just shook him right out of his cleats. Third and 1. Oh, over the head of Williams again. He comes up with it. Looking to a wide open receiver. First down, Washington. What a wild play. Decker DeGraff was wide open.
Wow. I mean, you've got an unbalanced look up front. The ball once again, Aaron over the quarterback's head to the right. The tight end is sitting there wide open, man. If I didn't know any better, I said that part of that was scripted, not so much the error in the snap, but the ability to have a full off-balance formation up front and then the tight end leak out late, wide open.
Heads-up play by Damon Williams. First and goal. On the ground, Muhammad breaks a tackle, trying to spin his way into the end zone, and he will be just short. C.J. Nunnally saving the day.
I'll tell you, Muhammad is so subtle, and he makes you miss in space. We talked about at the top of the show how 9 guys try to capture him. And again, you got him dead to rights in the backfield, right? But the guy runs with such great leverage and vision and lean forward that he's going to break through most tackles.
So that ball about a foot away from being 6 points. Inside and in, it is touchdown Washington. Why not give it to the hammer, Adam Muhammad?
Offensive coordinator Jimmy Daugherty goes to the, you know what? The inside game, back to the old school 2-back offense. When you need that single yard, I can vision and close my eyes and see Tom Rathman in there. It's a solo formation. You've got one back, but he's got his hand down like the old school days, and he runs it in for the score. Outstanding.
Grady Gross on for the extra point, and that could have been a very different looking drive if Damon Williams did not show the poise and maturity that he did on that play. The ball snapped over his head. A lot of times they tell you just to fall on it. He picked it up, saw the open man, they picked up a first down, and that was all, of course, set up by this catch, this one-handed diving catch by Omari Evans.
And then the touchdown on the ground. All of these plays preceded by what? The call by Odom to get the play. It didn't pay out in his favor. They made him pay for it.
Washington on top 7-0 after just a crazy drive. It was 6 plays, 62 yards, almost 3.5 minutes. It included an unbelievable catch by Omari Evans, the Penn State transfer, getting his first start of the season. And then there was a snap over the head of Damon Williams. He showed the poise and maturity of a fifth-year senior. He scooped it up, found the open man, picked up a first down, and it was capped by the Muhammad 1-yard touchdown run. And this one will be brought out of the end zone, out past the 25-yard line, almost to the 30 by Michael Jackson III.
Hey, partner, any truth to the rumor you might be getting your hair done like Adam Muhammad? You see that nice little red thing he had?
I thought it looked great. I mean, there were 2 hairdos, I'll be honest with you, during warm-ups that I paid a lot of attention to. And they were both on the Washington side of the football, the offensive side to be exact.
I bet I know what the other one was. Go ahead, tell them.
Oh, man, it was unbelievable. Like, the mullet on John Mills is unlike anything that I have ever seen, but we'll get to that in a little while. Right now, we got to focus on this Purdue offense. Malachi Singleton in at quarterback again, as is Antonio Harris. Ryan Brown started the game, but it's Singleton in there now. Singleton looking to the left side, and overshoots Nitro Tuggle by a ways.
Yeah, and I think even though it wasn't pressure imminent in the face of the quarterback, the gaming and dealing that's taking place right now on that defensive front of Ryan Walters is causing some problems. And at some point in time, they're going to start leaking. And Purdue's got to be able to handle that pressure. Otherwise, they're going to get to their quarterback.
Singleton changing the play on 2nd and 10. Looking to throw again. 3-man rush from Washington. Taking a shot deep, and he got it. Michael Jackson holding on to this one out to the 46-yard line. The biggest play of the game for Purdue.
Well, they beat it, despite the fact you mentioned the 3-man rush. That means 7 are back in coverage. It's man-free. Everybody's up, locked on one guy. All you got to do is beat one. You got 3 to beat one. If you can do it, that's great. This case, good for 26 yards. Oh!
Whoa! In comes trouble at the 45-yard line. It was Deshaun Lynch coming off the edge in a hurry.
Well, I was play late, but I saw this boiling up 2 plays ago, partner, that the movement that they're making with the shades is really causing problems with who you got to design and pick if you're an offensive lineman. The 4-eye technique is so confusing. See the gaming and the twisting inside? It's really difficult to understand in real time who's your guy and who's not.
Loss of 5 on the sack sets up 2nd and 15. Singleton surveying the field. Lets it rip, incomplete.
Another great job of using containment. There's a lot of movement up front, but what Singleton was facing was containment, right? You've only got 3 guys that are moving and switching responsibilities, but they understand the mobility of this particular quarterback, and so when they slide, they're not going to get too far out of their lane. And Ryan Walters understands you've got to play with integrity to make this system work.
An animated Ryan Walters as he is talking to his defense. Pressure coming from Washington. Singleton wide open down the middle of the field. A huge lane, but not able to get to the line to gain.
That's unfortunate. Corey Smith, I thought, was wide open. And again, on those releases, when you don't have your initial read against this defensive front, you have to have an internal clock to get rid of it. They're too active. 14 yards then, that's a positive, but the bottom line is you've got to have an internal clock. He's had to pull it down and run, but he had a guy wide open. He didn't have to subject himself to that. Granted, he got the yards. It's a win.
So again, a 4th and 1 situation inside the Washington 40, and we have a timeout call.
Under review for potential targeting.
Ooh, a targeting. So kind of a head-first slide dive from Singleton, and you saw that there was some chippiness when he was getting up, a little pushing and shoving.
Well, we'll see if all the elements are there, if there's a launch and if he's receiving.
Almost like a little friendly fire, actually. No, it's coming in from the side. That was X-Ray Alexander. The level change is so difficult when you're trying to come in and make a tackle for these guys.
I don't think Rashawn Clark was the guy. He was the nickel who was in there from the inside. He certainly didn't. His head was off of it.
After review, there was no foul for targeting. It's 4th down.
That's a good call. Good no call.
Let's bring in our rules expert, Steve Strimling. Steve, you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. The guy coming in from the side, number 10, he does have his head down, but he doesn't hit him with the crown. And the player from the front, who also has his head down, actually hits his teammate. So there's nothing here to put on targeting from video review.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Yeah, that's what I saw, that friendly fire with Ryland Dillard Allen hitting his teammate. 4th and 1, huge play here for Purdue. Keep it on the ground. They're not going to get it.
Wow.
This Washington defense answering the call on 4th down. X-Ray Alexander.
You know, I'll tell you, you almost have to come back, and I'm getting in the weeds here, but what we call split flow, man.
The runner was short of the line of the game.
Athletic defense in front. You have to use their own ability against them. Split flow, backs going opposite direction. Now, Purdue now 0 for 2 on 4th downs because their inability to deal with the athleticism of this Ryan Walters defensive front. Man, they are active. They play on the other side of the line of scrimmage about as good as anybody right now.
Purdue just not able to capitalize. We talked about how often they have been in Washington territory early here in the game. Going for it on 4th down a couple of times. The Washington defense answering the call. And now this offense trying to build on that last drive. And what a wild drive it was. Ooh, a little reverse here. Flea flicker back to the quarterback. Throwing it back to Omari Evans. And here's Evans with a stiff arm showing the wheels. And that was a lot of work for a 5-yard gain.
They came back. Smiley Bradford was the guy who was playing defense on that side number 1. He's playing the nickel position. He's going to have to ultimately make the tackle. But again, these guys are going opposite direction. That'll win you, man. These guys over there panting like a lizard on a hot rock after that one.
What was the other one you said in the open? Cut up like coleslaw?
Like coleslaw, man. That was your man Muhammad.
That's great.
Ripped up, strong.
Ooh, Williams eluding the rusher. Looking downfield, decides to tuck it and run. Doesn't pick up the first down, about a yard shy before he's taken down by Miles Slusher.
A great decision there to pull that one down because the one guy he was looking for was covered up by a single safety. So he thought better of it. An edge rusher coming off on the outside with those eyes turned inside directly at him. He makes him miss. That's good. So the numbers weigh in your favor. But again, too much activity inside. Takes his losses.
Jordan Washington and Adam Muhammad in at running back now. This is Muhammad picking up the first down for the Huskies.
And that's the difference, right, Dan? They're converting on their third, and they hadn't had a 4th down opportunity, but when they get those 3rd down scenarios, they're converting them.
That's the end of the first quarter. Timeout in the field.
Washington about to be on a roll if they can find the end zone again here at home. Not an easy place to play. Back at Husky Stadium, Washington on top 7-0. They have the ball right at midfield. Time now for today's home team stats, sponsored by Wayfair. Every style, every home. And there has been some serious home cooking going on under Jedd Fisch the last couple of years. 10-1 at home.
Look at that, man. You throw out the Ohio State loss, and that's 47 points per game they're averaging at their place. 504. That's amazing, man. That's impressive.
Jedd Fisch done a really nice job rebuilding this program. On track if they can hold down the fort for a 10-win season. Here's Muhammad picking up a first down. You talked about how much you liked his running style coming into this game.
He reminds me, this is old school, of a teammate of mine, a guy named Earl Johnson, one of the best inline runners I've ever imagined. Myself, Marcus Dupree, Earl, all guys were in the same backfield, but nobody ran off tackle like he did. He's got those high hips, he's tight, he's ripped up, he's strong, he finishes. You need company to bring this guy down, man. He's special.
Muhammad getting a breather with Jordan Washington checking into the game. And here's Washington breaking a tackle, picking up a first down of his own. Jordan Washington with elite speed is the 3rd running back, but with Jonah Coleman out, or at least very limited, going to get a lot more opportunities today.
And these 11 yards come via scheme. Watch the right guard and the right tackle. They go opposite of the direction. Totally antithetical to what you would think you're trying to do if you need help out there, or you're running away from it. Don't run into the teeth of the structure. This is a brilliant job of scheming right here.
Williams swinging it to the outside. That's Desmond Roebuck.
That's some popping going on out there, Dan.
Yeah, they are not afraid, these ball carriers for Washington, to put that head down and thump you.
It might not be that UCF, the stuff that you're mastering, but I'm telling you, man, these guys are popping each other, man. Big time.
They are impressive. And there is Jonah Coleman, the starting running back, one of the best running backs in the country, on the sideline. Williams, all kinds of time. Decides to take it on his own to about the 25-yard line before Trey Smith gets him.
Well, one of the things that we know that there's a lot of crossover in the coaches. It's a very, you might call it an incestuous business. Defensive guys know who they are. They're guys that are on this Washington staff that were on the Purdue staff and vice versa. The inside games that you're seeing played are mirror images of each other. The difference is Washington has better players on the interior and they're not being displaced. And as a result, Washington's getting plus yards.
Williams looking to throw on 3rd and 7, complete to Roebuck, diving for the first down. Does he get there? All depends on the spot. And it looks like it is indeed a first down.
Great job of having the presence of mind and keeping those feet in and getting as much as you possibly can. You know, sometimes your momentum is going to take you out. It's good for 8 yards, and it's the end of it, the ball control, that made the difference in keeping his feet in.
Here's the quarterback, Williams on the keeper, and nothing going there. Swallowed up at the 20-yard line. Coming in to make the stop with C.J. Nunley.
Look at Muhammad sell this play. Number 24. You would have sworn the way he's running that ball that he's got it. And again, what that does, it sets you up. When you do give it to him, if you're on the previous play as a defender, you're probably going to think twice about committing to it. And that's the psychological game that's being played. Number 24 is a complete player right there. He's a beast. He's going to be a beast on the next level.
Well, he has plenty of time.
Yep.
Just a sophomore from Glendale, Arizona. Williams on the little jet sweep look to Raiden Vines-Bright, but that wasn't going anywhere. Just sniffed out by Breon Ishmael.
Well, if you want a defensive end to play the technique, all 6'4", 270 pounds at him, watch Breon come off the edge here. Settle down and boom. He is upfield, negative 8 yards on that particular play. Seek and destroy. Number 58, man, he's all over it. Looking like Keena Turner wearing that 58. Old school stuff.
Old school. I like it. A lot of work to do here on 3rd and 19 for the Huskies. Another high snap. Williams comes down with it. Completes the pass. And Raiden Vines-Bright does a nice job as he is slow to get up here.
Officials timeout for player injury.
That's because Miles Slusher really tagged him, man, from that deep safety position.
And there's a flag, too, that's just been thrown.
They're popping out there, man.
Vines-Bright is moving his legs as he's getting medical attention right now on the field. The freshman receiver from IMG Academy in Tempe, Arizona is his hometown. Been starting since week 2. We talked about these freshmen in the receiving corps that are.
Yeah, they're going to say a prayer for him. They're going to bring out a card, I think.
After the play, unsportsmanlike taunting. Defense, number 9. Half the distance to the goal, automatic. First down.
I actually thought it was a clean hit. You know, Miles Slusher from my neck of the woods in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, is a good kid. I thought he did a fine job of sticking his nose in there, and I don't think it was ill intent.
Time on the field.
All right, we'll keep you posted on Vines-Bright. Back after this.
Yep.
Back at Husky Stadium, Washington has a 7-0 lead, but a scary moment on the field as they have now brought an ambulance for Raiden Vines-Bright, the freshman receiver for Washington, who was on the receiving end of a hit by Miles Slusher. And as we look at the hit, it was really almost like a glancing blow. Here it is right here. He comes in and hits him almost right on the jaw with his helmet, and you can see that Vines-Bright is almost out as he's falling to the turf. And then there was an unsportsmanlike penalty called on Miles Slusher. He circled here, walking on the Washington sideline, and appears to be talking to them the whole time. And
And the umpire is the one who sees him and rushes over there. Miles is nearly 7 yards away from where he originally started. And at the end of the day, this is tertiary. The fact that you got a down player is the big significant issue here. But
and it's a round of applause here at Husky Stadium for Braden Vines-Bright, who is on a stretcher and being put into the ambulance. And that was just one of those weird hits. It didn't look nearly as violent as some others that we had seen, but clearly just kind of hit him on the button, so to speak.
absolutely, partner. That's something you've seen in UCF. You know, guys just hit you square on that button, man. That head turns, and it doesn't take a whole lot. I mean, he was out before he hit the ground. And again, I think the other part of it, as they suss out exactly what happens and kind of shake this off, is you got a player going over to the far side, opposite side of where he should be, 7 yards away, and literally walks down Washington Huskies bench and is engaging those guys, and the umpire runs over and sees that clearly, and that's where the infraction took place.
Well, Barry Odom gave Miles Slusher a long talking to after that penalty. He has known Slusher for a long time. He said he's the most talented player on defense, and he was playing a significant role as a true freshman at Arkansas when Odom was there. So their time goes way back.
And, you know, Barry understands we live in a world of images and impressions. And, Dan, I noticed he had both hands on his shoulders in a not a contrite way, but in a way of empathy, trying to communicate, son, we can't afford to do that. That's too costly, instead of berating him with things of that nature. In this era that we're in, with players having mobility and a sense of agency, you've got to be able to have the right approach to deal with these situations.
Well, the penalty puts the ball on the 9-yard line. And Washington looking at a 1st and goal situation. Adam Muhammad in, a running back who scored the last touchdown on a 1-yard touchdown run. Williams keeping it on his own, picks up about a yard. Manny Powell, who leads the Big Ten in tackles, on the stop, and it was Breon Ishmael who was bringing the initial pressure.
Yeah, and Breon's been playing such great disciplined ball out there. Sometimes you're not going to be the guy to get your helmet on the quarterback or the running back, but you can be in your position and then fold them into your defending teammates. That's exactly what Breon did on that play.
This time it's Muhammad down to the 2-yard line, wrapped up by Tony Grimes. A touchdown saving tackle by Grimes.
Always striving forward to get yards, and again using every element of his faculties. Watch the left arm come down and then support himself to extend his body out to get an extra yard or so. Man, that's all the difference in the world down here in the green zone. 5-yard inside where it's really tough. That's +7 on that play.
On the 1-yard line after the gain of 7, keeping it on the ground here, and another easy touchdown run for Adam Muhammad. So just like that, after the penalty, Washington scores their 2nd touchdown of the game.
Basically inside zone, you got everybody's pushing down to the right side, and he finds a nice little soft back and cuts across the grain. This guy right here is an asset. I told you at the top of the show, partner, I like Jonah Coleman, but they're not going to miss a lot with this guy right here.
Running backs, no running backs, Spencer Tillman. Nobody is ever going to question your talent evaluation, my friend, of fellow running backs. And it is 14-0. Huskies starting to roll. Welcome back to college football on FS1, sponsored by Graduate by Hilton. Spirited stays in your favorite college towns.
Play clock operator, please set the game clock, or the play clock to 25 seconds.
Resetting the game clock here as you see Adam Muhammad.
Thank you.
You can see that heart on the back of his head is in honor of Mia Hammond, a Washington women's soccer goalie who passed away from kidney cancer just 9 days ago. And Muhammad, of course, getting the start in this game because Jonah Coleman has an ankle injury. And is not likely to see action. They told us he would be there in case of an emergency, but I don't think they need to break the glass just yet, as they are up 14-0, and the ball returned out to the 30-yard line by Michael Jackson.
Well, there's some popping going out there, man. I'm telling you, these guys are hell-bent for election, Dan. And what it manifests in terms of the impact on the field right now is almost like a twofold time of possession advantage for Washington, who's had the ball 14 minutes and 20 seconds compared to Purdue's 6 minutes and 23 seconds. And so what that does, it steals opportunities away from a team. No matter how good you feel about what you're doing offensively, you can't make plays if you're not on the field.
Well, Ryan Brown hasn't been on the field for the last couple of possessions for Purdue, but he's in there now. Purdue has only had 2 first downs as we are nearly midway through the second quarter.
This will be just their 17th play.
Brown, flag. The officials sorting this one out.
It looked like it happened in the interior line. It was so quick.
I think we're going to find out here momentarily.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Jalen St. John, the leader on the offensive line from his left guard spot.
Yep. We knew it was an interior line. You can see him right there in the middle. Big guy. He's trying to hold his water, right? And then he just gets a little bit too far downfield. I mean, that's splitting hairs.
Keeping on the ground on 1st and 15. Not able to get to the 30-yard line is Malachi Thomas. Bryce Butler does a nice job on that tackle.
The redshirt junior transfer from St. Thomas. I'm telling you, watch him. Bryce come in there, number 92, man, just rip. Come to the point of attack with all that leverage and weight. Excellent job.
Thomas in motion. Brown looks that way, flushed out to the right, and just has to get rid of it. Going to bring up 3rd down and 11.
Brian Walters bringing a nickel blitz from the far side of the field with a little bit of a tag on the end of it. All that means is if the quarterback even blinks and come out kind of the opposite way, he's going to pull off to defend that one guy who's trying to get open vis-a-vis the passing route. Excellent defense with a lot of tags in it.
Brown looking downfield on 3rd down, has a man, flag down, plenty for the first. It's E.J. Horton. Have to see what the penalty is here, though.
That's going to be defensive penalty, I believe, on Washington. Those guys, anytime you're in man coverage, you're getting downfield, you start grabbing guys.
Illegal substitution. 12 players in the defense. The penalties decline. Result of the play is a first down.
So first complete pass for Ryan Brown this game goes for 15 yards to E.J. Horton, the FAU transfer.
So the first opportunity to continue to possess the ball is as a result of what the defense gives you. You got to start earning these at some point in time. Let's see if they can deal with this cover 2 front here. Along with those guys that are moving with just 3, they got 7 in coverage. That's a lot to overcome.
Keeping it on the ground on 1st down. Malachi Thomas picks up 2. Elenius Davis there on the stop from his defensive line spot.
Coach Ryan says he'll go 6, 7 deep in his top rotation, but if he needs to, he's able to go a little bit deeper. He's starting recruiting to get the kind of guys that he needs to have the endurance and also the athletic ability to run this scheme.
Brown looking in the middle of the field, and he's picked off at the 45. Zadrius Reyes-Saleh. We told you about this freshman, how much they loved him. Tore his ACL in high school, spent his first few months here in Seattle recovering, and they said, man, he looks good getting off the bus. We had to see if he could play, and he makes a play here.
I asked Ryan Walters which one of these guys had the best range. He says Randy Saleh is the guy who's got better foot speed. He answered that diplomatically, right? There's a flag down on the field, but what you just saw there was a guy that understands the field. He understands what it needs to take to close on the ball. You can't coach the talent part of it. That's just straight speed.
They said they were so anxious for him to get healthy as we wait to find out what the penalty is, because he definitely looked the part. And then when he was back, they said, man, he moves. He can really move for his size.
The result of the play was that the runner was short of the line of the game. It'll be first down Washington. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 7, Washington, taunting with a throat slash. It is number 7's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. A second results in game disqualification. That's a 15-yard penalty. Also, sideline warning, Washington. That is only a warning. There is no yardage associated with that warning.
Well, you think a guy with the name Ephesians wouldn't be making that kind of mistake.
It's a valid point, but we have had a couple of these. It is chippy emotions running high here at Husky Stadium. Washington up by a couple of scores. Back at Husky Stadium, Washington on top, 14-0. Huge play by the freshman linebackers, Adrius Randy Saleh, jumping up to get that interception, but there was a penalty on the end. This is Ephesians Prysock with the throat slash gesture to the Purdue bench. We've seen this from both teams, not the throat slash, but unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. It has been very chippy, and I think one of the reasons may be that these two coaching staffs know each other so well.
That's Rule 921A. They'll get you every time for that one. Hate it.
Keeping it on the ground with some room. It's Jordan Washington trying to go the distance, and he does. A 68-yard touchdown for the speed merchant from Long Beach, California, Jordan Washington.
I want you to watch the coverage from Miles Slusher, number 9 in the backfield. Watch him just get frozen. Oh, drops down to a knee. A phone book move here. There's a player down in the 40, but that was an excellent run. Great run after the move that was made. Keeping it high and tight a la Tiki Barber for the score.
So we have a flag in the end zone, actually a couple of flags in the end zone, and we have a player down at the 35.
It's all the play at the touchdown. After the game, after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, scoring team number 4 removing his helmet. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed in the kickoff. It's number 4's first unsportsmanlike conduct of the game. The second results in game disqualification.
So the first touchdown of Washington's career, and maybe he didn't know the rule, but I can guarantee he will after this.
Timeout in the field.
Yeah, I can't do that, son.
And look, the side judge was actually trying to give him a minute just to hop up, put your helmet back on.
He's trying to extend some grace over there to him. Guy's got to be engaged, man.
That's Ian Jeffries, who is being helped off the field. Huge part of this defense, who has been getting a lot better, as Jeffries, the sophomore from South Haven, Mississippi.
Big fella, man. These guys are giving it all they have out here. You can see it in the action. All of the big hits that we've seen tonight. We've also seen some not so smart decisions made by players.
Now, numerous unsportsmanlike conduct penalties as we await the Grady Gross extra point.
And I guess the point is it underscores the youth of both these teams, and to explain a lot of what's going on with both of them.
It's up, it's good, and it is 21-0 Washington on top, courtesy of Jordan Washington. Tomorrow on Fox, Caleb Williams and the Bears taking on Justin Jefferson and the Vikings, or Sam Bradford and the Seahawks playing Matthew Stafford and the Rams for control of the NFC West or other regional action. Check local listings for the game in your area only on Fox.
Hey, the former Trojan quarterback's got him working a little bit. Chicago looking a lot better these days. And they've got an upward trajectory going.
Oh, no doubt. A lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball for Chicago. Caleb's still doing what Caleb does, though, man. He runs around and he creates. I don't know how quickly he's throwing that ball. He probably has offensive coordinators pulling their hair out sometimes.
Absolutely, man. Because most of those guys, I don't care how athletic you are, they know success is going to come within structure. We see it happening here as well at the collegiate level, but certainly at the NFL level where everybody's talented.
Ethan Machowski on to kick off for Washington. And the Huskies have scored 21 points in the last 10.5 minutes. Here's Jackson going up the right sideline out to about the 29-yard line before he is tripped up. Leroy Bryant on the stop for the Huskies. And there just needs to be something, anything for this Purdue offense. And another quarterback change with Malachi Singleton coming in. Ryan Brown had the last drive, so it looks like they're rotating them drive by drive at this point.
Well, the key is who on this offensive unit and this four-wide look that we're looking at right now, which typically means they're going to pass it, can come up with an explosive play.
Going to keep it on the ground. And that Washington defense, there were 3 guys there. And Elinius Davis.
And I'll tell you, the reason why I don't like that, you got 4 wides out. Maybe you're trying to spread them out. But by doing that, you know the interior of that line is populated. You've got more numbers inside. I'm not quite sure what the reason and the rationale with that for showing 4 wides and then running the football.
Look at the numbers for the 2 quarterbacks. Antonio Harris back in at running back on 2nd and 9. Here's Harris. And Harris sets up a 3rd and manageable. They can pick up a 1st down here and get a little momentum going. That was a 6-yard gain for Antonio Harris. You know, you can just see there's a vast difference in playmakers on this Purdue offense as compared to the Washington offense.
Absolutely. Here comes pressure from the field now.
Keeping it on the ground again with Harris, who is close to the line to gain, but appears to be just shy. We'll see where the spot is.
Nice little trap block inside, and again, just not much giving there on the part of Washington's defensive front.
And they gave it to him. He picked up the 1st down.
You know, inside the game, Dan, one of the things I'm seeing is Ryan Walters using the single safety look and the flexibility of his defenders to show different formations. In our conversation, he says we can show 6 different coverages, but have one base scheme that we're going to run. It's presenting the different looks that causes the confusion. That's what they've been doing.
This time it's the quarterback keeping it himself. Malachi Singleton picks up 4. And it makes it really tough on a young quarterback. Singleton, just a sophomore. Ryan Brown, a sophomore. Neither one has seen extended periods of playing time over the last couple of years, and it takes a minute.
Absolutely. You make an excellent point, because recognition is part of the battle. The pre-snap read is going to tell you 60% of what you're going to do on any given play. And if that's constantly changing, you're in a hole.
Singleton going to go to the air. He's pressured, climbs the pocket, launches it deep. And it's over the head of E.J. Horton. Pressure coming from Ontario Thompson. And that's what made Singleton feel inclined to take a step up in the pocket. Still had a good look at it.
Yeah, he had a good look at it, but the issue is that anytime you find yourself in a second, third, and long, when the likelihood for a pass is coming, you're going to get pressure from a Ryan Walters defense. You're going to get it. That's just what he is and what he does. He's very aggressive. He trusts his front, and he trusts those long, athletic guys on the back end. 6'1.5" on average.
3rd and 6 for Singleton.
Nice.
Pressure coming right up the middle. Singleton gets it off, able to keep his feet, but not able to pick up the first down. That was the tight end, Rico Walker. And this Washington defense is just flying around.
Ephesian Prysock, again, the left cornerback, is the guy who we just talked about a minute ago. That's a -1. Watch him come up and force number 7 off the edge. He'll come into your screen here shortly. He's the guy that's been sneaking around on that edge, giving you the illusion that he's going to blitz. And he can do it because he's got an athletic safety over the top of him, ready to cover his responsibility.
Punt nearly blocked. Fair catch called for at the 10-yard line by Roebuck. And it'll be 90 yards of work if Washington is to find the end zone again after the 47-yard punt by Jack McAllister. And the last 3 drives been pretty good for Williams and this Husky offense.
And here's the thing, they're lengthy to be sure, but the yardage on them, that means they're stealing possessions away from Purdue. And that's a problem, because if you're stealing possessions and you don't have your best athletes on the field, not only are you not getting a chance, you're getting a chance with less athletic players to do what you need to do.
Muhammad out to the 13-yard line. Charles Correa on the tackle for Purdue.
Jimmy Daugherty's going to come out with those 2 tight ends when he's backed up. There's no need, after they've hung these points up 21 now. You got to learn how to nurse this lead and possess it, take that time off the clock.
Make the handoff to Muhammad, and they're going to take a shot here. A completed pass. It's to Graff out past the 40-yard line. They fooled all of us on that one.
Absolutely.
I thought you were 100% right they're going to run the route.
They got me. The bottom line is when you got guys anticipating you're going to run the ball, that means you got man coverage on the edges. And if your guy wins, or if the scheme allows him to do it, you get a 28-yard get right there. It's impressive. Had me fooled.
3rd catch of the game for DeGraff. Here's Muhammad. You know, it doesn't look like a whole lot, but he should have been wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Took a little stutter step, takes his time, really patient running.
He really is. And I think the defense helped him too, because you got the edge rushers moving upfield. And what happens is, Dan, they create levels where you have defenders that are 5 yards ahead of where you need to be, and the defensive interior is back here. So those little seams get created. And this back is smart enough, intuitive enough to exploit that.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
You slow where the resistance is least.
Adam Muhammad doing something he hasn't done since week 2. Score a touchdown, not 1, but 2 of them. And he's one of the reasons Washington's up 21-0.
Hey, coming up is the State Farm halftime. Arch Manning in Texas looking to continue their resurgence at Georgia. Alabama gets a rude awakening by Oklahoma. Plus, a thrilling comeback by Texas A&M. Dan and Spencer, it's not how you start. It's how you finish, baby. And the Aggies finished in a big way today. See you at the half.
Sarge.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. And that's, I'm sure, what Barry Odom is going to be telling Purdue going into halftime. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And they have a lot of work to do at this point.
He's preaching that 27-point deficit that A&M overcame. They were down 30-3 at half. That's unbelievable.
And then win by a point. Well, the here and the now, it's 2nd and 6 for Damon Williams. Looking to throw. All kinds of time, just dancing around, rolling to his right, lets it go. And it was Kevin Green Jr. who was the intended receiver.
And by the time Charles Correa got to him, right, number 5 off the edge. Listen, that's the difference between, and I think you pointed to this a minute ago, Washington's athleticism and talent being able to affect the quarterback and eventually get there, because the one-on matchups, they're going to win those. I think Purdue is not quite there yet. It takes them a lot longer to win.
Certainly a lot more turnover on that Purdue roster this year than Washington, being year 1 for Barry Odom as
Indeed.
opposed to year 2 for Jedd Fisch. 3rd and 6. Williams. Flag on the play. He was looking for Omari Evans again. Evans being guarded by Khalil Cummings.
Pass interference. Defense for 28. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic.
Yeah, Khalil's got that left hand and just grabbed him there at the end and tried to put those hands up, but the side judge, she was all over it. She saw it and nailed him.
You have to call that when you tug on the jersey, but I don't know that that ball was even catchable.
That's a good point, but she's probably looking more at the
100%.
Not able to see the ball up there.
Yeah, the correct call. Absolutely the correct call. An unnecessary penalty, I guess, is my point.
Point taken.
Here's Muhammad. Little stutter step just shy of the 35-yard line. D'Amico Kennedy on the stop for Purdue.
Well, I thought they had him dead to rights. The guy's just always reaching for extra yards. Thought Alex Sanford was in there as well. He just squeezes right through.
Toss out to Muhammad, throws it back to Williams. Williams looking downfield, lets it go, and he has him. The trickeration to Audric Harris. And Washington, Jedd Fisch, and the offensive coordinator Jimmy Doherty have been drawing up some fun plays tonight.
And this is what we call a levels concepts. He actually had 2 options. This is good for 28 yards, but he got the underneath right here on the throw. But there's a guy over the top that's available too for him to throw to as well. That's just a tremendous job of understanding where your talent is. Omari Evans was over the top waiting for a ball as well.
Muhammad had to fight to get to the 5-yard line. Manny Powell on the stop for Purdue. We've seen 2, 3 of those trick plays for Washington.
Team charge timeout Washington. 32nd timeout.
Really, for the most part, worked out rather well. One of them went for about 5 yards, but it's been a fun offense to watch, and it was a very different situation last week against Wisconsin. They had a block punt, and then Denzel Boston had the touchdown catch, but Washington had a couple of turnovers, including this one right here. Wisconsin makes a field goal in the snow and the rain and the slush and the sleet, and then Washington has a field goal block. They end up losing by 3. Pretty big upset for Wisconsin. Their first win in a long time. Luke Fickell going to be back as the Wisconsin head coach. Big win for him, but a real gut punch to Jedd Fisch and this Washington team that was in the top 25, the college football playoff rankings, and kind of had an outside shot
Yep, they
to
had
make the playoff.
Control their destiny there for a minute. That was evaporated quick as a hiccup.
Muhammad with some room. Muhammad in for yet another touchdown. Twice is nice, but 3 times is better. Adam Muhammad doing some work.
You guys know what a sawbuck out there. Fever's the number 5, baby. He comes inside like a whirling dervish. Watch him, man. He's always moving forward. The patience there to freeze a would-be defender on the inside. Just a wonderful job. And that was one of their best players, C.J. Nunley. He was the guy. He froze there for a moment and just went right to the inside for a score. This guy right here, like his style, man.
Coming into tonight, Washington was 34 of 37 scoring in the red zone, 92% tonight. They are 4 for 4, and all of those have been touchdowns. 3 of them courtesy of Adam Muhammad, who is filling in nicely for Jonah Coleman, one of the better running backs, one of the best running backs in the country, out with an ankle injury. Muhammad got the lion's share of the carries last week in that Wisconsin game and looked pretty good. But he looks great tonight.
Yeah, you got to be great, man. If you wear your hair the way he wears it in his vibrant style, he's supremely confident, but in a very polite way. The guy's got great humility. The coaches talk about it ad nauseum. They absolutely love him.
12 carries, 54 yards last week in relief of Jonah Coleman, and 3 touchdowns here tonight. He hadn't scored a touchdown since week 2. Well, you can check that box 3 times.
You know, Barry Switzer had a way of phrasing this when he saw a guy who he can guarantee points. He says, if I tell you there's cheese on the moon, you better bring crackers, because that's my back right there. He's going to make it, baby.
Oh, I'll bet you Barry had a lot of good ones, huh?
Oh, he did. Dan, he had a bunch of them. Love you, Coach.
Ryan Brown back in the game for Purdue. He has been a rotating series with Malachi Singleton. And it is Malachi Thomas at running back alongside Ryan Brown. As Purdue has 55 seconds here in the first half to try to get some points on the board.
Got to be careful here, though.
Brown not going anywhere. And Ontario Thompson gets him for the sack. It is the first full sack for Thompson this year.
Yeah, Thompson, he's down there in a little frog position, a nice rip, but he spills into this particular tackle, right? Everybody else is pushed upfield. This is the second sack for Washington so far in this game, but it comes as a result of those other 2 guys pushing up the field and him falling off in more of a contained position and falls into the sack.
Here's Brown keeping it himself. Brown sliding and hit right at the line to gain. It was Mikel Esteen on the stop.
Esteen doing a great job of getting down.
Yeah. Come to halftime, Washington feeling pretty good after a slow start, putting 28 points on the board. And let's send it to our LA studio with Mike Hill, Chris Peterson, and Bruce Feldman for the halftime show. Back in Seattle, it has been all Washington after one half of play. Kind of a slow start for the Huskies, actually, but they scored on 3 consecutive drives and then another 28-0. Huskies on top of Purdue. Spencer Tillman, they have looked great, and one of the reasons why is their running back, Adam Muhammad. He had 2 touchdowns on the season coming into the night, 3 touchdowns here.
Why not? If the mountain won't go to Muhammad, Muhammad must go to the mountain,
Amen.
right? Or the end zone, whichever one is close. It's pay dirt, and you're absolutely right, Dan. This guy found it frequently and often, and I think the ultimate thing is he's stealing possessions away from the competition, and that's going to be tough because they got a lot of ground and a lot of wood to chop in the second half.
It is really impressive what Washington has been able to do without their #1 receiver, Denzel Boston, without their #1 running back, Jonah Coleman. They're just making it happen here, and Purdue just trying to get something positive going. They have not been able to put any points on the scoreboard despite really good field position a couple of times.
And Barry Odom had a controversial call. I'd say controversial. He took a shot, right? He's trying to produce a way to get his guys into the game, a biscuit or throw something at them positive that they can benefit from. They missed it. And then as a result, points were produced by Washington on the back end of it. That was something that was problematic early on.
Time now for the first half stats, sponsored by Graduate by Hilton. Spirited stays in your favorite college towns. They have more than doubled them up on total yards, has Washington of Purdue. And we are now officially underway in this second half. And even more chippiness. We've had a lot of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties in the first half, and we're seeing more of it here now.
You would have thought that would have settled down going into the halftime. These guys look like they've got an extra wind of it, man.
Sideline warning. Purdue bench. There's no yardage associated with the warning.
Look at Jedd Fisch, his 6th season as a head coach. He completely turned Arizona around in his 3 years there. And I remember talking to him when that went down. He had every intention of staying there, and then they had some communication issues, I guess you could say, with the powers that be, and Washington came after him, and he came after him hard, and he has certainly been happy here now in his 2nd year in Seattle.
I think he's got a great aptitude for how organizations run. Not bad for a guy that actually never played the game of football. He's got his finger on the pulse of this game.
Keeping it on the ground with Harris, and Harris picks up 4. Purdue just hasn't been able to get those chunk plays like Washington has had in a couple of these drives.
Well, I think the thing is they don't have enough of these explosive players on the offensive side to actually open this game and give them a chance to do something significant. Barry Odom has got a challenge on his hands. He knows the battle. He understands it. They were 1-11 last year coming into this situation. The process is what he's got committed to.
Brown looking to the right side, rolling out. Kind of gets rid of it at the last minute. It was Christian Moore, the tight end.
Brown trying everything they possibly can, having to move out of the pocket. Pressure from those guys up front has been consistent all day. Hadn't seen a lot of this guy right here, man. Searching for solutions.
3 for 7 on 3rd downs for Purdue. And they've been rotating quarterbacks in and out. Ryan Brown, Malachi Singleton. Brown started the game, and he's in now on 3rd and 6, along with Antonio Harris at running back.
And he'll try to bring his formation, spread it out a little bit, and try to find a soft spot. Art Briles used to do this and run inside zone.
Pressure coming. Lets it go downfield. It's tipped. He had a man open. He was looking for Michael Jackson, but it was the safety, Alex McLaughlin, who gets a hand on it. Pressure was coming from X-Ray Alexander.
Well, great foot speed. Watch number 12 here. Alex McLaughlin does a wonderful job of settling in and then relocating once he identifies, and he robs this route. That's what you call a robber technique. He's got anybody that comes down the seam, but if it's empty, he has the leverage and the ability to turn to catch the routes behind him. Great rob job there.
McAllister's punt is blocked. Somehow he gets it away. I don't know how he got that punt off. Rolls inside the 15-yard line. Ontario Thompson deflected it.
I'll tell you, as an old special teams guy, Thompson needed to extend his arms and take that ball right off the foot. It ends up being 58 yards. That's a long way for a ball that we heard the classic. I think part of it, partner, was he got across that leg and didn't get his arms extended to get him mitts on the ball.
I think the ball, you're right, went right under his arm.
And that's why we coach it to take it off the foot. And that means you got to have your eyes open if you're doing that.
Ontario Thompson, 310 pounds, a little bit harder to lay out maybe when you're that big.
We give him some grace, man. That's the split flow that works.
Well, there's Washington again with room, picks up the 1st down, out to the 29-yard line, tripped up by Smiley Bradford.
And that's what Purdue was needing to do earlier to mitigate some of the quickness up front for Washington. The split flow. When those guys cross the direction, it freezes the interior linebacker. And what it does, Dan, it allows those offensive linemen to get the proper angles on those backers who are now frozen, trying to discern which way their guy is going. I mean, that's great, brilliant strategy right there.
Washington now 1 yard away from a 100-yard game. And here he goes again. Washington close to picking up another 1st down, and he's over the 100-yard mark.
Manny Powell had him dead to rights. Number 16, the inside linebacker. He just missed him. When you got guys wrapped up like that behind the line of scrimmage, you got to make that play, man.
Five carries, 108 yards. Not a bad way to be.
Nope.
Muhammad back in now on 2nd and 1. And just hard running out of Muhammad picks up the 1st down. It's really a good thunder and lightning combination with Jordan Washington and Adam Muhammad, isn't it?
They do a wonderful job. And again, I think the fact that you've got that kind of sense of connection and the ability to communicate in a way where I've been with players that you just turn and look at them and they understand exactly what you want to do from a scheme standpoint. When you've got that kind of chemistry, that's about growth.
Williams with time, steps up in the pocket, lets it go, and it's Harris in for the score. A 61-yard touchdown to Audric Harris. I don't know if you're slowing down this Husky offense tonight.
Nothing unlucky about this number 13. Harris does a wonderful job out of this stack formation of the nod and just blowing right by the would-be defender. That's Hines on the opposite side of him, and he goes right over the top. Love the job of climbing the pocket on the part of Brown to get his open receiver.
Harris with 2 catches for 90 yards and that touchdown. Coming into this game, 2 catches for 10 yards on the season. And what a beaut. He was wide open. All these guys stepping up for Denzel Boston. Welcome back to College Football on FS1, sponsored by Graduate by Hilton. Spirited Stays in your favorite college towns. Well, it is big play after big play for this Washington offense. First couple of drives didn't look great. They had some high snaps. One of them, Damon Williams, able to turn into a first down and then a touchdown. And that last touchdown coming from Audric Harris, his first touchdown of the year from 60-plus yards.
Bishop Gorman's finest, man. That kid came out of Las Vegas. I remember when he came out, I think his senior year, he had like 13 touchdowns. Part of the reason why he wears number 3 right now, they won the state championship. This guy is a load, man. Very gifted player.
Look at Barry Odom there. 54 players out of the portal. Over 80 new players on his roster. He told us when he had that first team meeting there were barely 30 guys in there, so it's a completely remade team, and it takes a while to settle in.
No question.
The coach on the other sideline, Jedd Fisch, will be the first one to tell you that. You know, he's in year 2 of the rebuild. Singleton looking up top, trying to go back shoulder to Nitro Tuggle. Tuggle and Michael Jackson, their best playmakers on the outside. And they just haven't been able to get those chunk plays here tonight.
Trying to make an adjustment on that ball late, just beyond the outstretched hands. And again, it's about execution, right? At the end of the day, if that ball's on a little bit inside track, maybe a yard and a half off, or to the inside, closer to the field, maybe he catches it. Execution.
Malachi squared, Singleton and Thomas in the backfield. And this is Singleton dragged down by Devin Bryant. The pursuit of this Husky defense has been phenomenal tonight.
Well, they're able to get to the point because of their speed and quickness. And I think the integrity of the structure of the defense allows them to know where the help is coming from all the time. So they never worry about getting out of position. There's so much integrity with what the structure of this defense Ryan Walters is doing.
Third and 9. Purdue needs a spark. Pressure coming off the edge as Singleton gets rid of it, and there's the flags coming. You can see it. Tacario Davis had the receiver all wrapped up.
Yeah, the senior transfer is a long-rangey guy, and Ryan Walters just understands that he's going to get him on that particular play because he's got his hands all over him.
Pass interference, defense at the spot of the foul, automatic, first down.
Sometimes those long arms at 6'4", they work against you. It's great when you're trying to defend an open space, but the back judge is actually behind him. I'm not quite sure how he was able to see from that angle. Maybe the head judge was the one that actually made the call.
Nitro Tuttle, the intended wide receiver. Looking at the option, the pitch to the outside. And another positive play for this Purdue offense.
Like
Baby
that.
steps.
I love that. That's great football right there. Jackson does a wonderful job, and Thomas is around him. All those guys that are able to run to the side, get net 6 yards on that particular play. You can work with that. But the closing speed again on this Ryan Dillard, Allen and company on the backside of this defense.
Here's Singleton keeping it again. About a yard shy of the line to gain.
Deshaun Lynch in working. These guys from the inside, whether they're the edge guys or on the back end, they never get defeated by one guy. That's the one thing I see about this active Ryan Walters defensive scheme and the players that are playing it. They're young, man, but they get after you with consistency. Purdue with a nice trips look to the field. They got a chance for somebody to win here. They got to communicate more clearly. They got the weaker guy on the cover of the slot. They got a route here to get it.
3rd and 1, tip pass. I believe it was Deshaun Lynch who got a hand on it.
Dan, you hear us all the time talking about how do you affect the quarterback. It's not always about getting home. It's about getting your hands up and in those throwing lanes. And if you can't get there for whatever reason, you just get out blocked, get the hands up in the air. Great job of seeing that right there. Then Deshaun Lynch may have been the guy that got it, like you said, 41.
0 for 2 on 4th down so far. They're going for it here. It's 4th and 1.
Safety blitz. Whoa.
We have a timeout.
Just in time, because that's safety.
Prior to snap,
Deep
first
Flying.
timeout of the half. Washington, 32nd timeout.
When you see that kind of pressure, Dan, will make you change your mind, man. Take a look at this formation right here. It's kind of got 3 guys down here at the base on the 40-yard line between the 40 and the 50. It's like a T formation all the way on the edge, and so they wanted to see how they were going to line up. They're outnumbered is Washington right now. They're trying to get a body over to this side to cover the inside guy, but if you look at the numbers, that middle guy is probably not going to do anything but block. Sometimes the numbers can be a dead giveaway what the assignment is.
Jed Fish looking on, taking a break from the headset.
Yep. Love the way he spun the noise in the system about opportunities perhaps beyond the current place. Coach Odom certainly knows a little bit about that as well, but how did he spin it, Dan? He said something about it's a compliment to the players and the coaches if that kind of talk is going on.
Indeed. Let's see if his defense can step up here on 4th down. Singleton going to keep it himself. And I don't know if he got it.
Well, this seems like
They gave it to him.
They gave it to him? Wow. Well, they got good initial movement there on the zero technique. They got over the center. But I'm telling you, of all the plays tonight where they didn't get the call, I think this is one where they shouldn't have gotten it, but they got it.
And no challenge coming, at least not yet. They get the snap off. Singleton.
Nice.
A little pitch end around. And another 1st down for Purdue. It's E.J. Horton inside the 25.
Well, E.J. says, you got a 13 that's pretty good. He says, I'm not so bad myself. I'm going to show you 27 reasons why. On the end around, he comes and settles the ball. But watch him be judicious and not get ahead of his blocking. Chokes his motor and then comes down and gets additional 7 yards after making that break. That's an excellent running.
It's a nicely drawn up play by the offensive coordinator, Josh Henson. Good change of direction to catch the defense off guard. Longest play of the night for Purdue, 27 yards. Singleton again, and nothing going here. He is scattered, smothered, and covered by this Husky defense.
You know, usually what happens, Dan, you learn about the coaching staff's capabilities beyond the obvious. Everybody's got to have talent, or you want to have talent. But that middle 8, the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half, I know we're deeper than that right now, but this is the first time when they got a chance to really get a full possession. You learn what the coaches learn, and then their ability to transfer what they saw in terms of adjustments. Barry Odom come and say, hey, look, we've got some opportunity. Let's see if we can execute it. Transfer that knowledge to the players.
Singleton looking to throw. The intended receiver was Corey Smith, but Singleton overthrew him by about 5 yards.
Yeah, just wasn't able to get open. Corey Smith just couldn't get past him. That long frame of his, about 6'1", 185, just couldn't get past him on the other side.
A lot of length in that secondary, in the second level of the defense for Washington.
Coming with the pressure, look, a single safety high. That means you got 8 to 9 guys up front in the box playing the run.
Singleton dumps it off, and there's nowhere to go for Antonio Harris. Going to bring up 4th down. Rainey Soleil on the stop. He's been playing great tonight. Has the freshman had that interception earlier?
And they were playing the run too. I mean, but again, at some point in time, you got to make an individual play, and Rainey Soleil did exactly that. And all of that noise and garbage underneath, Ryan Walters' players find a way to do something extraordinary beyond the assignment itself.
41-yard field goal attempt for Spencer Parath. And the kick is good, so Purdue on the board for the first time tonight with just over 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Baby steps.
That's right.
Here's the freshman again with some room to run. Picks up the first down out to the 39-yard line before Manny Powell makes a stop.
Nice little stretch play. The action is really good. Doing what he has done. All of these backs for Washington. Carr does a great job himself of finding some soft spots up in there. Nice boy.
Williams looking to throw, buying some time up the right side. Nearly hauled in. Roebuck going for the one-handed catch. Not able to make it happen.
Well, there's a lot of water in between that completion or not. Again, went to the opposite side and tried to set up and turn back around and make that completion. That's a three-quarter field throw. A lot of water for that completion.
Muhammad back into the game of running back. Low snap. Williams keeping it himself. Out past the 40, picks up 2, maybe 3.
Because of the success that he's had tonight, there is so much attention being paid to Muhammad. After the mesh, 2 guys are still chasing after him. That numbers advantage helps the quarterback or anybody else who's being fed the ball.
You saw the numbers there for Damon Williams, approaching 200 passing yards after a season low 134 in that Wisconsin game of those terrible conditions. 3rd and 6. Here's Muhammad cutting it back up inside. Muhammad keeping his feet inside the 35. .27-yard gain for Muhammad.
Well, this guy is elusive, man. He's something else. Watch him again. Make a guy miss an open field. There's no way you can plant. You try to settle on him, and even when you get a nice solid shot on him, he's able to run through it.
Taking a shot downfield. He got it. Washington almost scores again. Decker to Graff. Knocked down inside the 5-yard line.
Taj Rael popped him pretty good there as he got down. It's a significant gain of 30+, and he paid for it on the back end, Dan, but not after big-time yards.
Muhammad looking for his 4th touchdown of the game, wrapped up by C.J. Nunnally.
And then came down on that rush outside linebacker position. Man, there's no, like I said, it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse here, but I'm just loving the fact that Barry Odom's team will simply not die. On the defensive side, the energy is there. And as a rule, it's always going to take more energy to play defense than it does offense.
Looking to throw is Williams. Into the end zone and hauling it in. What a tremendous diving catch by Desmond Roebuck. This Husky offense is clicking on all cylinders. Over 40 here at home once again.
Well, this is what they do when they're at home, right? Outstanding play. We showed a graphic earlier. The outlier game being Ohio State. Outside of that, they have been dominant here at home, averaging somewhere in the order of 47 points. This is an extension of that, sitting on the door at 41 now. This is an impressive clinic.
The extra point up and good. And it's 42-3. Washington absolutely rolling. Pretty pass from Williams. Better catch from Roebuck. Well, another touchdown for Washington. They now scored a touchdown on 6 straight drives. The freshman receiver from Arizona, Desmond Roebuck, the most recent recipient of a touchdown pass from Damon Williams. And they are in the flow, so to speak, are these Huskies tonight.
And alternately produced quarterbacks are struggling. Only 6 for 18, 51 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. You're talking about futility. That's a big number, but.
Well, they got another shot here. It's going to be Malachi Singleton at quarterback when we come back. All Huskies here in Washington, 42-3 after Washington has now scored on 6 straight drives. Been an action-packed day around the Big Ten. Indiana beats Wisconsin. Michigan takes care of business against Northwestern. That was a tight one. Iowa gives USC a battle, but the Trojans escape. And then Ohio State all over UCLA. That game is in the third quarter. Let's take a look at the current Big Ten standings, sponsored by Discover. It is Indiana and Ohio State who control their own destiny, still undefeated. Michigan now 8-2 and Oregon 9-1. SC going to make a push for that playoff. I'm telling you what, and Iowa probably going to drop out of the top 25 now.
Absolutely. I think USC is sneaky there. They're going to back into this thing some kind of way. Indiana, Ohio State looking every bit the favorites that they are right now. Then Oregon and Michigan sitting in that 2-hole, making a vie for it as well.
And don't forget to tune in to the Discover Big Ten Championship game presented by Discover December 6th on Fox. And a complete pass for Purdue. It's Nitro Tuggle. Hauling that in from Malachi Singleton. Every yard has been tough to come by for Purdue, but they are coming off their best drive of the game, their longest play of the game, and they'd love to get the ball into the hands of Nitro Tuggle a little bit more. He's been a nice playmaker since coming over from Georgia.
Yeah, the only thing that matters right now for Purdue is points per possession. Nothing else matters, and hopefully they can do it in short order as opposed to taking more than 4.5 minutes to do it.
Well, and there is a first down.
Nice.
This time it's E.J. Horton to the 40-yard line.
So you can coach with this, and I think everybody that's sitting out there is thinking zero-sum, right? You're not winning. The bottom line is 8 yards is a win on this play. Everything happens in a vacuum when you're at the stage that Barry Odom's team is. Every play, you're 1-0, and so you got to win on each play. And they're doing a great job of compartmentalizing their situation and staying engaged. Comes pressure.
Singleton gets popped in the backfield. X-Ray Alexander, one of the men there, and Rainey Saleh, Jacob Lane slow to get up.
This is the equivalent of a run blitz. Everybody is fitting into a gap. We talk about run fits, right? When you got guys that are blitzing, there's really no voids in that front. Everybody's fitting themselves properly.
Can't say enough about Zadrius Rainey Saleh as the medical staff is checking out Jacob Long. He leads the team in tackles for loss. Been a key member of this defense, the most productive guy up front off the edge.
Well, they've got a lot of guys that are active, man. Ontario Thompson's guy we haven't heard a lot about, but Jacob Lane, another guy on the opposite of that edge. There's Lane.
Jogging off, that's a good sign. You really have to be impressed with what Jedd Fisch has done with this program. They lost so much after making it to the national championship game. I asked him where he thought they were in the whole scheme of things, kind of a 30,000-foot view, and he said, I think we're on track. We got to get bigger and older, and we're still building a Big Ten roster, right?
I mean, you're a couple of years removed from a national championship appearance. When anytime you're taking over for a program that made it to the pinnacle, it's almost like taking over when Don James was here during the great years he was here back in the 80s.
Pressure coming. Singleton gets it off, and another completion, another first down for Purdue. It's Nitro Tuggle again.
They're moving the ball, man, and this is what you want. You want teams to show fight. Everybody's executing. This is another plus double-digit, 14 yards net on this play. That means you got plenty of time to protect.
Oh.
And then you shoot yourself in the foot.
False start.
False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You know, the same thing that makes for successful teams, same thing for successful businesses. You got to have smart people. You got to have the ability to iterate and change from play to play. Barry Odoms knows this. And you got to have integrity. Your players has got to be bought into the whole system as well. And they've got two of those things nailed down, man. They've got to be able to be consistent, though, and not make those mistakes because they are crushing you.
6 penalties for 49 yards for Purdue. Singleton getting chased out of the backfield is able to get it off to Harris, but he is wrapped up right away. It was Deshaun Lynch who wrestles him down.
Looked pretty aggressive, didn't around the collar area. And obviously, the officials saw it otherwise, but.
Deshaun Lynch doesn't just tackle you.
No, man.
He wrangles you like you're a steer.
Absolutely. I thought I was at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo for a minute. Mutton busting. Here comes that sneaky corner blitz again.
Yeah, there it is. Gets it off somehow to Singleton. It was Michael Jackson on the catch. Not a whole lot of yardage, but a yeoman's effort from Malachi Singleton just to get that pass off.
Well, it was a field corner blitz by the nickel Rashawn Clark. And again, you're absolutely right. If he doesn't come from a three-quarter field position, that is on that far side of that hash. Remember, the college game is different from the pro. In the NFL, those hashes are really close together. So when you line up, you're further away. In the college game, if he's a pro, he probably nails them on that play.
This is the end of the third quarter.
Rashawn Clark plays nickel. Local kid from here in Seattle, Garfield High School, one of the great high schools at producing college players, NFL players, NBA players. Washington doing it and doing it well here tonight. Welcome back to college football on FS1, sponsored by Graduate by Hilton. Spirit stays in your favorite college towns. Pretty good college town here in Seattle, especially tonight. 42 points on the board for the Huskies. Beautiful downtown, Space Needle.
I think it's a top 3 venue in terms of scenics from this end zone here. Sailgating, man, nothing like it.
It is a beautiful setting. There's no doubt about that. It hasn't been very pretty for Purdue. Singleton avoids the rush, running for his life. Gets it off. Catch is made. What a tremendous job coming back to get that ball by Rico Walker.
And that's what it takes, individual effort. First of all, by the quarterback to avoid 3 would-be tacklers in his face. And then to deliver on time, running across his brain, the body, and release it. That's impressive.
Flag down on the play. Normally holding when the quarterback's running around for that long. Rico Walker had that 30-yard catch against Ohio State, which was their biggest play of the game.
That first drive they had against Ohio State was super impressive, man. They drove down the field.
The result of the play was a first down after the play. Offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct fouls. Offense number 17, defense number 12. The foul's offset. It is the first unsportsmanlike conduct foul for each player. A second results in game disqualification.
Rico getting the talking to by Barry Odom as they're yapping back and forth a little bit after the 16-yard gain.
I think that's the 5th. We had 2 warnings, right? And then 1 actual call. There's been a lot of that tonight.
Very chippy here on the turf at Husky Stadium. Understandably so. It's been a long season for Purdue.
Well, it's the zeitgeist of our times, right? You see Shane Beamer gets banged. The stakes are higher than they ever have been across the landscape of college football. A lot at stake.
You, of course, referring to Shane Beamer at South Carolina. Report coming out that he's been let go. So another big-time job opening in the SEC. And inside the 25-yard line now is Purdue, still looking for their first touchdown of the game.
And there's a balance here you got to strike. You know, you want to execute so that you can improve and show improvement as you watch the breakdown on the tape. but you also want to understand real game time strategies about taking advantage of the clock. You got to move with some intentionality. Nice.
Here's Harris. Nice job just to make that catch, spinning his way inside the 20. And Harris, who came into the game with 11 receptions on the season, shows good hands there. The pressure was coming by Rashawn Clark.
And Harris, man, when you're in the middle of a scrum like that, you're turning and you're vulnerable, reaching down to grab a ball that isn't the best. You're going to net 7 yards out of this thing. But all the while, Dan, you're thinking about, my goodness, how vulnerable am I in this situation? To me, a guy that can make a play like that with all those bodies around him tells me he's still engaged. Nice cut.
Keep it on the ground on first down. And Aeneas Davis making sure that doesn't go for more than a couple yards.
See what Coach Ryan Walters dials up, sitting on the doorstep just outside that green area. He's going to stay still back in these two deep safety looks, so they're going to still play the pass here in this situation. Man coverage on the edges. Rotating back to a single safety look, so they're going to try to get pressure on the quarterback.
Singleton just off the mark, not on the same page as Michael Jackson, threw it behind him.
Well, he got a hand of that on that too, right? If I'm not mistaken. Did he not?
Somebody tip it?
Yeah, I think he did. I knew pressure was going to be coming just because of the formation, and I think he did get his hand up there.
You are absolutely correct. It was Deshaun Lynch, who's had a really nice game. Throwing on 3rd and 9. And not going anywhere. Zach Durfee. Another sack for the Huskies.
Oh, the senior transfer from Dawson Boyd, man, he does a wonderful job of just feeling off of the guy that was in his face. He's standing up here right on the edge. He comes down, engages, gets the pole, the short pole, and then extends it, comes off and makes a great play inside.
3rd sack of the game for Washington. And for Durfee, it's sack number 3 on the year.
You know, guys play that position that are really adept at converting speed to power. And if you've got any kind of length and you can change it up, it's like a pitcher, Dan. They don't necessarily know what you're going to have because the pole move requires you to put both hands on the guy, and then if you actually turn your side, you can extend your reach.
After play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 17. Excuse me, offense number 17. 15-yard penalty. It's number 17's second unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. He is ejected.
Wow.
So that's Rico Walker. And the last unsportsmanlike conduct penalty came on this drive when he was mixing it up with Alan McLaughlin. So that sets up a 53-yard field goal attempt. Here's another look. Well, you got to know better.
Yep, got to know better. Know better, do better.
And by the way, they always catch the second one, right?
Always.
They really goaded him into that one. Porath long this season, 50 yards. This from 51. And he got it. So a new season long for Spencer Porath. Purdue now has 2 field goals on the board. Back in Seattle, Washington on top, 42-6 now after that Purdue field goal. And there's a look at Jedd Fisch. Like so many coaches around the country with all these openings, his name has been brought up in a few reports, and he was asked about that this week.
Our players our coaching staff, myself, my family, we love coaching at the University of Washington. The ridiculousness of just putting my name on a list just to do it, only that does affect recruiting. It affects our team. It affects our staff. And my hope is that our players, our coaches, our families understand how much we love it at Washington.
He's certainly done a nice job here. Here's a look at the coaching vacancies, and you can apparently add South Carolina to that list. These are just the notable vacancies. We're talking 12, 13 jobs now that are open at the FBS level, and you got to wonder, are there enough coaches to fill all these jobs? And the one that Fish has been tied to specifically is Florida, where he went to college and worked on the staff under Steve Spurrier. It's a famous story now that's been told dozens and dozens of times, but he never played football. He came from a football coaching family, never played. He was a successful tennis player in high school and went to Florida specifically because he wanted to work for Steve Spurrier. Spurrier told him, you got to go get some experience. So he goes and coaches on a high school staff for a couple of years, leaves a note on his car every day for a calendar year or so, and finally gets hired as a graduate assistant and has moved around and has worked his way up the ranks and has been an offensive coordinator in the NFL and now a head coach at 2 different Power 4 programs.
Well, there's only one Steve Spurrier, but he does have a little bit of his shrewdness to him and matter-of-factness that Steve Spurrier had that made him so, I believe, such an effective coach. I mean, one of the great pieces of advice he gave me, he said, listen, never get too close to your assistants. You may have to fire them one day. I mean, that sounds raw, right? But the difficult truth is sometimes that is the case. The game has become so challenging in that regard, and I think it adds fuel to the fire that it is Florida, alma mater, and then you've got the home situation. The difficult truth is the family's in Arizona.
Yeah, and he's here in Seattle, and now he has a new quarterback in the game in Kai Horton, the Tulane transfer, who's getting some action. He's only thrown 5 passes this year, pitches to the outside. And it's Muhammad out past the 30-yard line. More tough running by Muhammad. Seems like he should have, I don't know, 150 yards in the game, and he barely has over 50. He's had to earn every yard he's gotten.
Absolutely. Smothering defense, man. It's just it's been a tough go of it.
But he has produced certainly no give up in this Purdue football team. As difficult as it has been for them this year, they are well on their way to their 17th straight Big Ten loss. This their longest road trip of the year, and the first time they have faced Washington in over 20 years. More pressure coming, and Horton is just sat down by Manny Powell.
Manny Powell looking more like Manny Pacquiao, man. With some intention, arms flying. You can see him working from that inside position. He comes upfield, sheds one guy, violent hands, just to run right through the guy that's been running like crazy today. Muhammad gets past him and makes a great play.
And a wobbly punt goes out of bounds around the 32-yard line. So Purdue with the ball on the other side. Sweet Caroline playing here at Husky Stadium, 42-6, just under 11 minutes to go here in the game, and Washington has just been rolling after that slow start. Adam Muhammad has 3 touchdowns. His backfield mate Jordan Washington ripped off a 60-yard touchdown run, and then Williams has just been in the flow. A couple of nice touchdown passes, some deep, some short. 16 of 19 for 257 yards. How about the average yards per carry for Jordan Washington? Wow. Not too bad, huh?
Yeah, Washington as a team has been like inflation, and Purdue has been like real wages. Can't keep up.
Incomplete pass for Purdue. And, you know, you see the improvement that Washington has made in the second year under Jedd Fisch in this new portal era when you got to bring in all these new players. As you take a look at Singleton getting hit after the throw out of bounds. The year 2 is where they make the big jump, generally, right? Unless you're Indiana.
Yep, and they're having a tough time at Wisconsin, but Luke Fickell, everywhere he's been heretofore, that year 2 has been the year where he made the great jump. That's why they got so much pushback, and until he got a blessing prior to their upset last week, he was on the hot seat.
Well, in this environment that we're in, for athletic directors, it's almost more difficult to give that blessing,
no question,
to give another year than it is to start over again in terms of the fan base, because there's just so much noise everywhere.
Absolutely, and I think it becomes part of the overall structure of the institution. These kids have mobility. We know that. There's a sense of agency that didn't exist a calendar year ago. The flexibility to move from one program without penalty, having to sit out. That approach, you have to deal with that from a structural standpoint, and that's one of the reasons why coaches get real sensitive when the rumor mill starts to turn, because it's tougher to hold them now.
And Singleton on the run, gets it off, in and out of the arms of Nitro Tuggle. We do have a flag down.
That was deep in the secondary. It's going to be against Washington.
Holding defense number 8. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic. First down.
That's Dekario Davis, the cornerback for Washington. You know, you mentioned about Jedd Fisch and how he answered and addressed those rumors, and it's basically the same thing Lane Kiffin said to his guys at Ole Miss. Listen, it's a compliment to you guys that people are even throwing my name in there.
That's right, and that's what you need to do, right? You got to spin it. But there's truth to it, though, right? Because that's what happens. The real world is when you do well, you become attractive to other people that are out there.
Singleton dumps it off over the middle. That's the tight end, Christian Moore.
And I don't really understand, to be honest with you, Dan, why that's so difficult for people to understand, because there's always this built-in aversion to NIL and transfer portal and all these things. In every other business and aspect of life, mobility is something that everybody has. It makes us uniquely American to be able to have the capacity to move when you need to. And so the $16 billion enterprise, I think there should be no exceptions as well.
Singleton taking a shot, has a man wide open. It's Tuggle down to the 10-yard line. So make stuff for that drop pass earlier with a wide open catch there. Big first down for Purdue.
Yeah, they had Devin Bryant and company, who's actually in a Mike linebacker position, what we call shooting the pipe. He's going playing that center field position. He comes all the way over to that side, and you've got 3 guys. One of them is a linebacker defending a wide receiver. Still got open.
36-yard gain for Tuggle.
Oh.
Keeping it on the ground and nowhere to go. Who else? Rainey Saleh. Zadrius playing a nice game. I mean, and for a guy coming off a torn ACL, man, he is looking good.
Yeah, I think 17 gets in there too a little bit. That was Devin Bryant at the Mike linebacker position. He gets in there and nails somebody. Both those guys in there active. I will say this much, Dan. Points per possession is what we talked about. That's one thing. It's just taking them too long. They're running out of time. But I see improvement for Purdue.
Keeping on the ground inside the 10-yard line. 1 for 2 in the red zone tonight are the Boilermakers.
Got a field goal in the previous possession, I think, and then if they can get points here, and that's a really nice adjustment to being able to score points on those possessions that you had. Just need to be able to convert them to touchdowns. I think Coach Odom will have something to coach with a little bit. It's been another tough year, but he's a winner.
Well, he certainly got it done at UNLV, one of the greatest turnarounds in college football history there in Las Vegas. 3rd and 7 here for his offense. Singleton gonna run it.
Nice.
Or throw it. He had everybody faked out. And how about wide open in the back of the end zone, E.J. Horton Jr. Man, he sold that well, didn't he?
He turned it into an RPO.
He ran that thing right up to the line of scrimmage. He got press coverage on the outside. That's a busted coverage right there. The cornerback thought he had help. He touched that guy and tagged him and let him go and just sit back in the end zone. It was a busted assignment, a rare busted assignment by Ryan Walters' defense on the back end. And he turned it. I'm telling you what, that's the kind of engagement you can coach with right there. Sometimes you have to iterate. Those guys, and we can say this now, are being paid a lot of money to stop you from doing what you're being paid a lot of money to do. So they're not giving you anything. That's great real-time adjustment there.
What do you mean? You couldn't say that back in your Oklahoma days?
We've been in the NIL, man. We could say it back then. I didn't have a problem saying it.
Well, he certainly looked good here. Touchdown pass from Malachi Singleton to E.J. Horton. And it's a touchdown for Purdue. Tomorrow on Fox, it's Caleb Williams and the Bears taking on Justin Jefferson and the Vikings, or Sam Darnold and the Seahawks playing Matthew Stafford and the Rams for control of the NFC West or other regional action. Check local listings for the game in your area only on Fox.
Was Justin having some Mardi Gras beads around his neck? What was that?
Yeah, Mardi Gras drip worth about $500,000 on his neck. I don't know if I'd be wearing all that, during a game. I'd be afraid to lose it.
No, bro.
Time for today's Good Hands moment, sponsored by Allstate, celebrating 20 years of the Allstate Good Hands Nets program. And this is about as good as you get. Omari Evans, the Penn State transfer, getting his first start of the season.
Woo! Oh, when he's healthy, man, he's good.
And let's not forget that Washington has put 42 points on the board without their #1 wide receiver, Denzel Boston, without their outstanding running back, Jonah Coleman. And this is why the future is so bright for the Huskies, as Kai Horton, the Tulane transfer, is again in a quarterback. And they are keeping it on the ground here. Hard running by Ryken Moon. Woo. First down for Washington as they are emptying the bench.
There's your boy Boston.
Yeah, there's Denzel Boston, man. 6'4", 210 pounds. The junior from here in Washington. Hurt his ankle last week. Came back into the game. Had a spectacular one-handed touchdown grab. He's special.
They've got a bunch of young receivers, too, that have worked their way up into the lineup.
Keeping on the ground again with Moon. Yeah, they have 7 freshmen that prior to this mass substitution were playing early in the game, and 3 of those guys, Desmond Roebuck, Chris Lawson, and Raiden Vines-Bright, who we did get a report on him. He is moving everything. There was an abundance of caution, so he went to the hospital, but it sounds like Raiden Vines-Bright, after that scary looking hit, is going to be okay.
And the thing about it, both of them are at X and the Z positions, which are the 2 outside wide receivers. And when you see that, usually they're putting the best playmakers out in those spots. That youth and athleticism, it's rare.
Horton on play action. Has plenty of time looking downfield, but he's going to tuck it and run. Eludes a tackle and in plus territory. Nice heads-up play, good decision-making by Kai Horton.
I love the decision-making. I love the internal clock, too, because Trey Smith on that rush outside linebacker on the opposite end, number 23, was the guy who had already gone upfield, right? And so he's redirecting, coming back, and he turns that play into 16-plus yards. But again, just having the internal clock in his head to know that the guy that just went past me is probably on his way coming back, and to step up at the angle that he did was pretty savvy.
Horton played at Tulane from 2021 to 24. Had 6 touchdown passes, a couple of touchdown runs, and 13 games played. Throw again. Decker to Graff. He is having himself a game.
I love this route here. It's called Y-seam, right? Release outside. Everybody's dropping in the quarter field responsibility. And linebackers not shooting the pipe like they would do in a classic Bob Sanders type cover 2 scheme, Tampa 2. Nobody's covering the tight end. He's wide open.
He had a career-high 6 catches for 62 yards against Maryland, 5 for 91, and a touchdown for the tight end Decker DeGraff from San Dimas, California. Throwing again, sliding catch made at the 10-yard line. It's Omari Evans.
I love the way Jimmy Doherty is working these levels, concepts. Sometimes you can do it with 2 receivers, but you can also do it with the running back. This guy's going to come underneath on the shallow crossing route. There's another receiver actually in front of him that could be dumped off to. It just depends on how the coverage plays out. And sometimes it has to be real time. And that's the reason why you roll the quarterback out so he can read it. If somebody, the safety, drops down and covers that shallow crossing route, he can dump it off to the shallow guy. And then the receiver becomes a blocker at that point. Great design.
Huskies back in the red zone where they're 4 for 4 tonight. It's the running back. Moon wide open, head down, take it down at the 2, just shy of the line to gain and the end zone. Hershey McLaurin saves the touchdown.
Moves almost like he had a little gravitational pull. I mean, you got a two-way go, man. You don't have to hit that guy if you don't want to. I mean, you can go around him. You can hit your head on the goalpost.
Reich and Moon was smelling the end zone, and McLaurin does a heck of a job keeping him out of it.
Many years ago, I played with a guy named Warren Moon who played at this university and did some excellent things.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
He was pretty good.
Moon again gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it before he meets D'Amico Kennedy and C.J. Nunley. Yeah, Warren Moon, no doubt one of the great ones, not only in Washington history, but in NFL history. Had to go to the CFL, and after you see him play, you're like, how is this guy not in the NFL right off the bat?
Only player in both Hall of Fames, Canadian Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of Fame. Nobody, Dan, threw a prettier ball than Warren Moon. When the ball came off his fingers, Warren used to always manicure his fingers, and when it came off, you literally would sit behind him, and you'd hear it come off the edge of his fingers. It was unbelievable. Never heard anything like it. Winner, it's 1978 Rose Bowl, big time.
He's before his time getting those manicures. Now everybody's doing that these days. You know what I mean? Critics call first things first, an entertaining, unpredictable joy. Don't miss Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, and Kevin Wildes with fresh, unscripted sports talk weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on FS1.
Broussard's a good guy. I like Nick too, man. All together, there's a chemistry that I love about those guys, man.
It's a good crew, man. I have loved Nick Wright ever since.
He's in Houston back in the day.
Yeah, I didn't know of him before he joined Fox, and he's a really smart dude.
He really is. I love his personal narrative. I mean, that to me is what this guy right here is just Jersey boy, man. I love his narrative too, Coach Jed.
Third and 1. Here's Moon fighting, and he's not going to get there.
Well, I tell you, Alex Sanford came off that edge screaming. Oh, he got in.
Wow, not only did he get in, it was Kai Horton who got in for the touchdown. Fooled us all. What a fake.
How about this right here? Watch the ride and mesh. This guy looks like a wizard. Looks like Jamel Holloway back in the day, man. Jamel was so small, he'd fold that ball in there and pull it out. Nobody even know he had it. That's pretty strong.
That was perfect.
Houdini.
Kai Horton touchdown. Second rushing touchdown of the year for the Tulane transfer Kai Horton, who had us all fooled on that one, and that's exactly what you're trying to do. Had that long ride with Moon, pulled it, and went in untouched into the end zone for the touchdown.
I think he's an East Texas boy, if I'm not mistaken. They say Carthage. I think that's Carthage, Texas. The Longview Lobos. Those guys, this guy right here played and a challenging matchup between them. Every year they were battling back and forth. He's a legend, man. He comes from great stock, great people in that neck of the woods.
You like those? You like all those Texas kids?
Texas, love them, man.
And there's a look at Jedd Fisch having a conversation with Jonah Coleman. Jonah wearing the bling and the grills.
I'm telling you, man. Gee.
Everybody getting in on the action for Washington, and this is what they have coming up after this Purdue game. They're at UCLA at the Rose Bowl, and enjoy the Rose Bowl while you can, because apparently UCLA wants to start playing their games at SoFi Stadium, which is the home of the Rams, and then they finish up with a massive tilt against Oregon.
Huge.
And that one's going to be here at Husky Stadium.
Tell you what, that one could be playing up to be a pivotal game for a lot of different reasons. If you think that rumor mill was ratcheting up then, boy, if they play here like they have been playing against Oregon, that could be interesting.
Singleton looking downfield. E.J. Horton had a step on the defender, not able to connect.
Well, there's been no give up in Barry Odom's teams, to be sure, man. They continue to stay the course, and he'll find ways to look at those micro advances that he's made and find a way to sell it to his kids to keep him highly engaged. And he talked about the fact that, hey, we're not going to a bowl game. We're going to use that extra 3 weeks to get ourselves focused and ready to do more.
Bye week coming up for Purdue after this. Singleton has a man. Jesse Watson hit his arm. He just wasn't able to get his body turned around to get the other hand on it. That would have been a tough catch.
You know, Leroy Bryant got back there and defended. He had help over the top, did Bryant. He almost put it right where it needed to be.
You saw that last look at the schedule for Purdue. Just one game left against Indiana after the bye week. And it has been a brutal last 4 games for Purdue.
Talk about a murderer's row.
3rd and 10. Somebody, anybody get open for this man. You mentioned the murderer's row, right? You start with a Michigan game in Ann Arbor, and then you play Ohio State last week. And then you're here against Washington, and you wrap things up against Indiana. So you have 2 of the teams that played in the 2023 National Championship game, and then you have 1 and 2 in the country.
Oh, my gosh. How about that?
Nobody doing Barry Odom any favors in terms of scheduling. End over end punt, fielded at the 40-yard line, and that's not going to go any further. That was Sterling Smith on the tackle.
Well, that was textbook tackle there, man. I'll tell you what, I am thoroughly impressed with the physical consistency that I saw tonight from Barry Odom's team. Irrespective of what their record is, to me, I had a coach used to tell me years ago, he said, son, I don't know your name, but your arms are pumping like heck, and that tells me something about you. And so when you look at these players, Barry Odom's got guys who are engaged at high levels.
Well, it was fun to talk to Barry Odom. He certainly enjoyed talking to you, Spencer Tillman, since he had a poster of you on his wall when he was a kid. He is a big fan, and his eyes just lit up.
Oh, man, that just means you've been around too long. That's, that's all it means. He grew up in Oklahoma, man.
Well, it is a 36-point lead for Washington. Barry Odom going to have a week to get ready for another tough game against Indiana to wrap up their regular season. And there's Jedd Fisch showing a little love to his running back, Adam Muhammad, who had 3 touchdowns in the game and is all smiles here tonight.
Well, Adam Muhammad certainly helped him out of a bind with their starter out. The guy that was on pace for another 1,000 yards till he hurt his knee. And Muhammad gave him that stability, and more importantly, saved our open. Made our open look really good.
Yeah, indeed it did. You were all over that. The 49 points for Washington, the most points they have scored in a Big Ten game under Jedd Fisch, and the 36-point margin of victory is the largest margin of victory in a Big Ten game to date. And Jedd Fisch, another win for his program, so Washington improves to 7-3. We showed that schedule. After the UCLA game next week, they host Oregon here at home. I mentioned earlier that 10 wins still a possibility, only a possibility if you beat UCLA and beat Oregon here. But you talked about it a lot during the week when we were talking to the coaches, just about how different this team is at home and on the road, and certainly you saw that here tonight, them hanging 49 points on Purdue.
And if you're looking at the game tape, you're trying to find examples of what you just articulated. Where did we do something tonight that we had not been doing better while we were at home? In other words, we know that we play well here. Did we improve upon anything that we can take on the road and do better? And then that, to me, is where you see the true growth take place week over week. Can you play as effectively on the road as you can at home? And that's what's missing right now, because they've got the talent, man.
They are so twitchy on defense. They're talented on offense. They're playing 7 true freshmen. 7 of those, or 3 of those rather, are wide receivers. You have a quarterback who's just a sophomore. Damon Williams, 19 years old in his first full season as a starter. And there is Barry Odom talking to his brother Brian, who is the inside linebackers coach at Washington. We talked about all the coaching connections. And one of the brothers is leaving happy. The other not so happy on his flight home back to West Lafayette. Thanks for watching, everybody. For Spencer Tillman, I'm Dan Hellie. More football coverage. Wyoming taking on